They swore you were done, thought the setbacks were too heavy, the betrayals too sharp, the silence too loud for you to survive it. They watched from the sidelines, some praying you'd rise, most hoping you wouldn't. And for a moment, even you questioned it. In the wreckage of what they broke, with your name dragged, your spirit cracked, your hands empty, you almost believed the lie. That maybe you weren't built for this. But then something shifted. You looked around at the ashes, wiped the blood from your face, and grinned. Because they forgot one thing: you don't break, you rebuild. You didn't just survive. You studied the chaos. You gathered every shattered piece, every insult, every dark night, and stitched them into armor. Not just to protect you, but to remind you that no one gets to write your ending but you. They wanted your silence. Instead, they got your return. Not loud, but deadly calm. The kind of calm that means war. The kind of calm that walks into a room and owns it without permission. The version of you they left for dead, that version evolved. And now you don't knock. You don't ask. You arrive. They say power changes people. No, pain does. Power just reveals who you really were underneath all that doubt. And now that the fear is gone, now that you've stopped trying to be digestible to people choking on mediocrity, your full form is terrifying because it's free, unfiltered, unforgiving. You no longer wait for green lights. You are the signal. You no longer chase validation. You are the verdict. And the people who tried to erase you, they're forced to watch as you write your legacy with the very ink of your past. So no, you didn't come back to explain. You didn't come back for applause. You came back to reign, to stand in the ruins of what they tried to bury you under and build a throne so massive they can't look away. Let them talk. Let them spin their narratives. They can keep guessing. Because while they gossip, you're building empires. While they sleep, you're sharpening your edge. While they wait for permission, you're already halfway through the gates. This isn't a comeback story. This is a warning shot. This is what happens when the underestimated stop apologizing. This is what it looks like when the misunderstood take control. And now they don't get access. They don't get explanations. They don't get a seat, because the table was never theirs. It was always yours, they just didn't know you were coming to flip it. You rewrote the whole damn book and set fire to the old one on your way out. Because the past, that's not your prison anymore. It's your proof that you were never weak, you were weaponizing. That silence they mistook for surrender, it was your rebirth. That isolation they thought would crush you, it became your forge. And now you don't move like someone trying to be seen, you move like someone who knows they can't be ignored. You've stepped into a version of yourself that doesn't flinch, doesn't fold, and doesn't beg. You don't wait for approval. You demand results. Look around, everything is different now. Not because the world changed, but because you did. You don't chase closure. You don't crave acceptance. The same doors they slammed in your face, you built skylines above them. The same people who doubted you, they whisper now. Because they can't deny the presence of someone who stopped waiting to be chosen and chose themselves. Loudly. Finally. Permanently. This new version of you walks like revenge in slow motion. Calm. Controlled. Unshaken. Not because the path is easy, but because now you own it. You don't just navigate storms, you are the storm. And those who tried to contain you, they're drowning in the waves you never apologized for. You gave them chances. You gave them time. Hell, you gave them grace. But now you give them distance, because anyone who couldn't see your worth when you were buried doesn't deserve access to you now that you've risen. Let them sit with their silence. Let them wrestle with the weight of watching you win. Because you didn't just come back stronger, you came back strategic, focused, relentless. You've learned that power isn't loud. It's consistent. It's disciplined. It's choosing to move forward when everyone expected you to collapse. And now that you're here, fully here, there's no going back. There's no more shrinking. No more soft stepping around fragile egos. No more pretending to be anything less than royalty born from ruin. So stand tall, eyes high, voice steady, because this isn't just your redemption arc, it's your coronation. You turned every wound into wisdom, every loss into leverage. And now the throne isn't just where you sit, it's where you rule. And from that throne, you don't just rule quietly, you shift worlds. You don't whisper anymore. You speak like your voice built the storm and your silence can end it. You don't explain your glow to people who dimmed it. You don't teach loyalty to traitors. You don't water dead plants and call it healing. You've outgrown the phase of dragging people with you who never deserved to walk beside you in the first place. This version of you doesn't ask who's watching. You know they are. The same ones who laughed at your pain now flinch at your progress. The same ones who swore you'd never make it now study your every move like it's scripture. But here's the truth, they don't get to come along. Your table has room for warriors, not witnesses. For the bold, not the bitter. For the ones who saw your scars and didn't flinch, who clapped even when they were hurting, who stood behind you, not in your way. So move like it's already yours. Walk like your feet are tired of asking and ready to conquer. Because they tried to make you believe your power came from how well you followed. But it's always come from how boldly you broke free. That's what terrified them. Not your mistakes, not your failures, but your awakening. The moment you realized you were never made to blend in, to bow, to beg. You were made to command, to disrupt, to build fire out of rubble. Let this be the age of your dominance. Let them talk while you build. Let them mock while you rise. Let them spectate while you rewrite every narrative they placed on your back. Because what they meant to break you only branded you. And now, everything they feared you would become. You are unshakable, unreachable, unstoppable. This is no longer about proving them wrong. This is about proving to yourself that you never needed them to believe in you. You just needed to remember who you are. And now that you've remembered, there's no force alive that can unmake you. They can't unmake you because you didn't just rebuild yourself, you redesigned the entire blueprint. You took the destruction and rewrote it into destiny. You stared down everything that tried to shatter you, and instead of retreating, you absorbed it. Pain became your foundation. Rejection became your compass. Loneliness became your mentor. And now every scar you carry is a signature proof that you've already survived what they hope will destroy you. So no, you don't fear failure anymore. You feed off it. You don't avoid pressure, you invite it. Because you know now pressure doesn't crush the chosen, it carves the crown. And while they waste time avoiding the fire, you walk straight into it, knowing damn well it can't burn what was forged inside it. You're no longer afraid of losing people, positions, or peace. Because when you are the source, nothing external can define you. This is what power looks like when it's earned, not given. It's not loud, it's not flashy. It's in your presence, in your discipline, in the way you don't flinch when things get loud, chaotic, or cruel. You've seen it all, and still you rise. Not out of luck, not by accident, but because you chose to. Chose to keep moving when it would have been easier to fold. Chose to stay solid when everything around you begged you to break. Let them wonder how you did it. Let them obsess over your glow up. Because they'll never understand the nights you walked alone, bleeding but unbowed. They weren't there when you had to be your own lifeline, your own cheerleader, your own damn army. And now that you've emerged sharpened, clear, dangerous, they're realizing too late. You didn't come back to participate, you came back to reign. So let the ruins remind you not of what you lost, but of what you conquered. Let every scar be a sermon. Let every step forward feel like thunder. Because this isn't just your comeback. This is your coronation wrapped in war paint. And from this point on, you don't just wear the crown, you are the standard. You are the proof. You are the storm. And you're just getting started. You're just getting started, and that's the part that terrifies them most. Because if this version of you is what rose from the ashes, imagine what's coming when you're no longer rebuilding, when you're fully in command. This isn't even your final form. This is the foundation. This is the spark before the explosion. They thought they were watching your peak, but what they're actually witnessing is your awakening. Not the end of your suffering, but the beginning of your reign. You don't carry vengeance in your heart, you carry vision. You're not trying to prove them wrong anymore, because the truth is, their opinion holds no weight in the empire you're building. This is no longer about validation. This is about occupation. Occupying every space they said you didn't belong in. Owning every room they tried to exclude you from. Wearing your truth like armor, because your existence as you are is already too loud for their comfort. They wanted the quiet version of you, the manageable one, the agreeable one, the one who waited, apologized, dimmed your light just enough to make them feel tall. That version? Gone, erased, buried beneath layers of growth they were never meant to understand. Now you walk like your ancestors built you from granite. You speak like every word you say leaves a mark. And you move like you've already claimed the victory, they just haven't caught up yet. And when the next storm comes, and it will, you won't panic. You won't shrink. You'll stand in it, calm and unshaken, because you've been here before. You are the product of storms, forged by chaos, refined by rejection, elevated by isolation. So let them throw their worst. Let life bend, break, and batter. Because now you don't just survive fire. You command it. This is your legacy in motion, your rise in real time. And when they finally realize they can't box you, stop you, shake you, or even touch you without getting burned, it'll be too late. Because you didn't just become powerful. You became untouchable. Like, comment, and subscribe.